All right, everyone, welcome again to Spinistry Live. We are here at Mad Duck Cyclery in Grapevine, Texas. Our friends here at Mad Duck just got done putting on a demonstration about smart trainers and how cool they are. They do have a special going for Team Spinistry members. If you're in the market for one, please do stop by Mad Duck, say hello to Clarence and tell him I sent you. And we have a good group of folks here that are also wanting to get some more information on Team Spinistry and the competitive Team Spinistry that we're adding to things for 2019. I'm Kevin Lee. Also on board we have Coach Lauren Stevens. Lauren, please say hi.
Hi.
And a good group of folks here. And I'm going to give a quick, hopefully less than 2-minute snapshot of where we're at with developing Team Spinistry, the competitive format. And then we're going to kind of open up the floor in general to some questions, because the questions themselves are going to help us drive the direction this project goes long term. Just a quick overview of how this came about, and it's part of why Lauren's here, and we're happy she's on board with us. I reached out to Lauren earlier in the year about some thoughts and concerns I had about competitive cycling in general, and Lauren chewed on that a little bit and came back at me with some suggestions on her end. And then during the RAT, we had some time to spend together, and we bounced some ideas off each other. And please step in and correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren. It seemed like we were on the same page for a lot of things, and we thought we saw some potential to help cycling as a whole.
Yeah, definitely we shared a lot of the same ideas, and we wanted to collaborate together to improve those ideas.
And I won't call it an end result. The point we're at in the process now is we are taking what's been a good Team Spinistry project for the past few years to the next level and adding a competitive component to it for 2019. And to be perfectly frank with everyone, 2019 is a project year for us. It's going to be building blocks, establishing a foundation with the idea of 2020 being firing on all cylinders and full steam ahead at that point. So we're starting with a developmental group, hopefully to have a nice core group in place for the Texas Chainring Massacre, but we'll be accepting team members throughout the year and throughout the nation, quite frankly. We want to be able to help people not just at Spinistry events, but also what will be travel events for Team Spinistry itself, but maybe even remote areas that are just getting into gravel grinding or don't have a formal structure around them, and maybe we can help them put some pieces into place along those ideas. Let me kind of give you just the quickie overview of where we're at with what competitive Team Spinistry is. Competitive Team Spinistry is aimed at people that enjoy gravel riding, but they want to take the competitive level of it to another level, whatever that next level is for them personally. We're not looking for people that are guaranteed to be podiums. We're not looking for people that are pros, Cat 1s. We want all levels of racers. We just want people that are wanting to build their fitness and their capabilities to that next level. And the team concept that we're building around is where the team supports each other. The team is about encouragement and support, and pushing each other and supporting each other. Leave no person behind, leave no team member behind is going to be part of our culture, but leave no person behind is also going to mean other people on the course that are on other teams as well. It's about promoting cycling and fostering the community and building relationships and things like that, with the understanding that all of us are out on the bike for our own reasons, and we want people to that want to get to that next level. We want to help them get there in a very supportive and encouraging way. Some of what Team Spinistry will specifically be support at events and at races where maybe it's an event that's a non-Spinistry event, and we have half a dozen team members that are going to Land Run 100 or Dirty Kanza or something like that, and we'll load up Big Betty, the Spinistry mobile, rent a house, and have a Spinistry HQ for the event. And if it's a non-Spinistry weekend, maybe I'll be out there at the midpoint at Land Run 100 handling everybody's refuel and things like that. Lauren will be putting together training and coaching programs that for all levels of riders that help them get to that next level with, and this is something you touched on, Lauren, and if you want to kind of possibly expand on it, I know it might be a little early in the process, but maybe with some of the events themselves being drivers for what some of the programs might be built around. Is that something you were thinking about along those lines?
Yeah, I mean, with the team Spinistry and with the competitive team Spinistry, deciding what out-of-town races and what Spinistry races we want to focus on, and using those to build training programs around to where those end goals is, say, land run. I know that's one we've thrown around a lot. And yeah, using those instead of having like, oh, we're going to sign up for this 90-day program. Like, no, I'm going to focus on land run as the end goal, or I'm going to focus on Red River Riot as the end goal. We're going to focus more on races being an end goal and building training plans around those.
I think that's a really cool approach. It really personalizes it for the individual, but in turn, we're trying to work from a level of scale, knowing that people fall into certain groups of capabilities.
Yeah, so for the groups, one thing I've kind of come up with like some classifications of like, we've all heard of like, well, maybe not we all heard of, but there's the couch to 5K where people are just like, all right, I've never run before and I want to start running and I want to do a 5K. So using an approach like that as being like the lowest level of training that we're going to offer, to be a couch to 100K. Rather than calling it couch 100K, I was thinking of more like, hold my hand. I've never done this before, or it's been a really long time, and I need you to tell me everything. And then the next level being, I just want to do better than last year. Like, I did okay. I kind of stuck to the training plan I made up, but maybe if you give me a training plan, I'll do better, and I just want to do better than last year. And then the third level being, I got this. I'm ready to go to the next level. How do I get there? Take me to the next level.
And from the coaching and training perspective, that's the big picture. I hope it's clear that we haven't figured out what all those pieces are, but from a broad stroke, that's kind of what we're looking at from the training approach. With the idea being, with your regular team Spinistry membership, not competitive, just the typical annual membership that we've always had. Lauren and I think are on the same page on that. That's where maybe that couch to 5K type program, hold my hand type program, that's available for anyone. You don't have to be competitive team Spinistry. That's going to be something that's available for all. Once people start getting into that competitive realm and wanting to better themselves by measuring time, basically, what's my pace? How strong am I in 100K? And I throw that one out there. That's just the 100K benchmark to kind of build from. It's just something that's in my head. These are all going to be Lauren's things. She's the pro. She's the coach. And sorry to put you on the spot, Lauren. For people that don't know who you are, could you give me the 15-second snapshot of Lauren Stevens, professional racer, coach, etc.?
Yeah, Lauren Stevens, I taught high school for 3 years while had been racing probably for 2 years before that, and then taught high school for 3 years. Ended up winning some big races here in the U.S. Got picked up by a pro team. Got a phone call to join a pro team, and decided that was probably more fun than teaching high school math. So now I've been doing that for 7 years. That was for Team Tipco, which I raced for them for 5-ish years, so it was about 5.5 years. Last year I decided to go and race for a different team, and next year I'm back with Team Tipco. So that's me.
And tell us a little bit about your coaching background.
Yeah, so my husband Matt coaches me. He's really big into gravel, and we have a coaching business SBDA's training, and probably about 4 years ago, I started picking up some of his clients and helping them, and we started coaching together. And so now we've kind of made that our side business. We both race full time, and racing is our full time commitment, and the coaching is definitely a passion we have. And then Matt also does bike fits, which just goes hand in hand with the coaching. That's part of the puzzle of becoming the better bike racer, is figuring out your training plan, making sure your fit's good, and then get out there on the bike.
Thank you very much. And Matt Stevens, yeah, he's kind of into gravel.
He does all the analysis. I'm good with the day-to-day plans and making sure everyone's completing what they're supposed to do. I guess that's the teacher side of me. And then when it comes to analyzing power files, heart rate, what went wrong in the ride, that kind of stuff, that's more his end.
And so what we'll be able to actually utilize, and if it's not clear, and I want to make it crystal clear for everybody listening and everybody here, Lauren's still racing. She's going to Europe, she's going to Australia, she is a professional racer, and that is her primary focus. She's going to give us a hand as well, and a lot of what we'll be doing can be done via email and internet and all that stuff. But when she is back home, she's going to be side by side with us whenever it does fit into her schedule. That said, Lauren's expertise and any feedback that we get from her professional experience is going to bleed over into how we structure the competitive team, and how those pieces come together, and how we lay out schedules, and what support is needed at these travel events and things like that. So this is a rare opportunity at this level of racing. I'm excited. This is a big deal for us, and I'm really happy that Lauren wants to be a part of this for us and help things grow.
I mean, there's so many things that Matt and I take for granted, like analyzing a course. We can take a look at a Strava map, or a Ride with GPS map, and tell you everything about a course and what to expect. And that's things we take for granted, that we can study a map so quickly and so easily to know which hill is going to be the hill that breaks everybody, and which hill you need to make sure you're saving the energy for, or even how much water to take and how much food you need. Things like that we just do by second nature. Like, those are things like we're here to give advice about, we're here to offer our expertise in, and that's what we want to do.
Takes us to kind of the final phase for the presentation of where we're at in very rough draft form right now, and then we'll open it up for questions. The current format that we're looking, how team members are part of the equation, how it all fits together, and who does what for whom and things like that. If y'all are familiar with Spinistry, you're probably familiar with the idea that Kevin does things differently from everyone else. So this isn't going to be a traditional team in the traditional format. What we're wanting our team to be are ambassadors for the sport everywhere they go. Not ambassadors for Spinistry. Yes, we love it if you wear a Spinistry jersey and put Team Spinistry next to your name for the results sheet and things like that. That's all awesome, but we want you guys to be ambassadors for the sport and talk up the sport and show everybody how cool riding bicycles down dirt roads really is. The idea that we're kind of working with right now, and all the pieces are going to come together. To be part of the competitive team, you have to have that regular Team Spinistry annual membership, which is $75 a year, and we just rolled out a $100 a year family plan that includes up to 4 people in the same household. You have to have that core for the 12 months, but then to get the training program, the input from Lauren, and the support and the structure that Spinistry brings to the traveling events. And another piece we'll probably have is, even for Spinistry events, we'll probably arrange competitive team pre-rides the weekend before. Actually, it's dual purpose for me. That actually allows us to scout the route a few days earlier than usual, so I can release routes to everybody. But it also gives Team Spinistry, competitive Team Spinistry members a little bit of an advantage to actually scout a course a week in advance right there. So that's a slight benefit there. Basically what it's going to be is, we realize not everyone's racing year round, so kind of the structure we have in mind at the moment is in quarters right now, $75 per quarter. What is it, January 1st through March 31st, I think? Gets you competitive Team Spinistry training, coaching, support for that time frame. But what you also get for that $75 for that quarter is like for quarter one, it's going to be our long sleeve jersey. So you can fly the Team Spinistry colors. If you already have a Team Spinistry jersey, don't need another one, don't want the long sleeve jersey, that's cool too. If you don't need a jersey or the bibs or whatever we have for the next quarter, then we'll just comp you one of our Spinistry events for that quarter instead. So correct me if I'm wrong, you're getting your money's worth, I think. So that's kind of the cost factor, and like I said, that's a different approach to building a team.
And from what we can see, each quarter ends up with one of like the big Team Spinistry or Spinistry events in it. So that will be like a main focus, and then we'll have, there'll be some out of town races that we'll decide that we are going to have the extra support at. But each quarter lands one of the main Spinistry events.
And there is a high likelihood, I can't drop any names yet, there is a high likelihood that competitive team members will be getting some additional partner and sponsor opportunities that aren't available to, for lack of a better term, club Spinistry members right now. And that's not on us. That's these partners that we've been working with, that they're kind of digging this competitive Team Spinistry idea. So, I mean, like, there's a possibility might be able to score a really, really sweet bike at a stupid price, maybe. We're really early in the process. This is really rough draft format. We know pieces are going to come together between now and whenever. We're shooting for a December 15th deadline to have a core group for the Texas Chainring Massacre in quarter one. And quite frankly, the main reason we're looking at a December 15th deadline for that is that's when we have to put our purchase in with Starlight Custom Apparel that do our long sleeve jerseys. So that way we can place that order December 15th and everybody has their quarter one long sleeve jerseys in time for Texas Chainring Massacre, and we start building the team for the rest of the year from December 15th on, and we start putting those preliminary pieces together, which brings us back to what we're doing right now. For folks that are a little more flexible, know that we don't have all these pieces nailed down yet. We're extending what was our Black Friday deal for competitive Team Spinistry. It's going to be $65 until December 15th instead of the $75. And you're still going to get your jersey. You're still going to get your coaching. We just know that we don't have all those pieces in place yet. But your feedback is what's going to help us determine what those pieces need to be. We're not here to tell you guys how to build a team. We want you to tell us how to build a team, if that makes any sense at all. So now we open up the floor. Went on a little bit, questions and answers. And I'm going to put the headphones on just to make sure people can hear the questions. So don't get upset if I ask you to repeat. So Rich, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I understand the concept, maybe, kind of, sort of. And it sounds wonderful, but how are you going to help me? I'm already off the couch. I can do a 5K. it just takes me a long time to finish a 5K.
Well, what do you
So
want?
what are you going to do to help me finish Chainring Massacre before sundown this year?
Before sundown?
Yeah, the 100-mile route.
You're telling me you don't finish before sundown?
The long route, it does take me a long time, yeah.
100 miles.
I think I came in
What
at,
time did we start?
8.
We started at 8.
yeah, it's January, days are short.
Yeah. So we got to like 5.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
how long did you stop to eat?
I don't stop to eat.
No?
No, I stop at the water table to get more water if I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you just had me right in front of you to taste it.
Tie a rope to the seat post.
No, that's not, yeah, I think I
I think
do
to their
better than
point,
that.
that's part
I
of
just want to know what are the tangible things that I'm going to get that's going to actually help me do
But
that.
doesn't that lead
Yeah.
to a bigger question about individualized coaching, which is generally extremely expensive and a lot of work on the coach's end?
Right. So, I mean, we're going to offer a training plan that's very general. But then Matt and I also offer personalized training. So having a personalized training program,
Have you ever done any kind of structured training?
Who, me?
that's a good
Yeah.
question.
No. No, I
Okay.
ride my bike every day though.
So
Doesn't
even
that
if you
count?
get a generic training plan,
You're going to see
you're going to see
drastic,
huge improvement
drastic.
in fitness,
Yeah.
therefore performance, by going to some type of structured plan.
And here we go. This is a perfect example.
Good.
I'm willing to throw this out there right now. Okay. Y'all bring up an excellent point, and this is what helps build the team. I'm just from my own personal experience, from working with a structured plan and the difference it does make. Hold on. We have to let the rice burner go by. Okay. My own personal experience with that, I am actually willing to do everyone that joins the team. I'm willing to do them a quarter guarantee. If you follow a structured plan that Lauren puts together, just and not talking like a personalized, one of our general structured plans, if you follow that plan, and you will be held accountable for it, because part of the plan is we see what you're doing. We're going to set you up with Training Peaks accounts and everything like that. If you follow the plan and you don't have a noticeable improvement that you're satisfied with on realistic expectations, I'll go ahead and comp the next quarter to you. Is that a fair deal?
Do I need a power meter to follow a structured training plan?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I mean, when you have a personalized coach that's analyzing everything you're doing day in and day out, the power meter is pretty much the only way to get good structured analysis from what your ride was. Because if you have a power meter, it's like I was there with you and I can see everything. But to follow a structured plan, no, you don't need that. And the other thing I mentioned was learning a course. Like, you're out there alone and learning when it's good to go hard and when it's not worth going hard. I mean, the simplest way to look at it is once you're already going fast, stop pushing so hard and you're gonna ride easy now. If I'm going 18 miles an hour already, like, I don't need to go 22 miles an hour. 18 miles an hour is good, and I'm not gonna push any harder. So looking at a course and seeing where's the headwind, where's the tailwind. I need to save my energy for that headwind because I'm gonna lose a lot of time in the headwind. But in the tailwind, I can't make up much time. Once you're going fast, you're going fast. So for you, Rich, that's going to be, I think, a big change because you're probably out there just going that same effort the whole time, whether you're going uphill or downhill, it doesn't matter. And learning how to ride a course. I mean, that's from my time trial experience. I have a power plan on my time trials of how many watts I'm putting out everywhere on the course. And sometimes it's 270 and sometimes it's 130. And it just depends on the terrain and the wind and things like that.
Next question. Oh, come on. There has to be more questions.
So do we plan on having some team group rides? Because that's something I've ridden alone for about a year and a half, and something that I need is that I'm looking for is just some people to ride with as far as a group, having a group to ride with. I know tomorrow night we discussed. I think there's a ride tomorrow night.
Yeah, at the
Remember
levees.
that?
Yeah, very definitely. The from tomorrow forward, the plan is to have our levee ride every Thursday night in Dallas. That is one. Again, I mentioned that we'll be doing the pre-rides at the Spinistry events where it's viable. Obviously, a pre-ride of the Rat, that's probably not viable, but things like that. Once we get the weekly Dallas levee ride going and those pieces in place, I'm wanting to do a Fort Worth one as well. And then part of the big picture idea, once the team Spinistry pieces start coming together and we start having 2 or 3 people in this area and a half dozen in that area, then we get the team members themselves to collaborate and put together their own group rides if they're not able to make it to Dallas or Fort Worth. Trying to put together an Austin one right now as well. But that goes back to, that's what part of our team, and for people listening, I'm doing air quotes, part of our team is that we do support each other and we do build our own group rides and things like that to help support each other and do those things. Now, if you need some guidance, for example, if you're in an area where you're not able to get to one of our regular rides, we'll give you some, hey, care for it this way, here's our experience, be sure to do this, here's some suggestions we have, and we'll maybe try to get the team to come out at least 1 or 2 weeks and help build your group and things like that as well. But definitely the group rides and the team rides, that's part of the ongoing process that we see from this. Quite frankly, I would love to see a team Spinistry ride in every zip code during the week.
That's the thing, it's going to be a process because living in such a big metroplex like we do, it's different from living in a small town where we can all meet up and go on one ride. Just look at tonight, we have 10 people here in the room and the rest are having to listen online. And once we start to build the team, that is going to be the idea that we're going to be able to have these group rides in different areas of the town. And as gravel continues to grow, as we continue to promote gravel, that's going to allow for that.
I've got a question. This is Mark. I've been riding. We're all relatively, well, we're adults, I guess I could say, but I've been riding a long time. I'm sure a lot of us have. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool roadie. But this gravel thing just is not working for me. Like, I like it, but I suck at it. Okay, and I've done 10 of these rides, and I just keep going slow. Is there going to be help and guidance to do these better, and do them, like what you mentioned, more differently? Because my road ride, I'm just, and I can't do that on my gravel ride. I just end up just going slower and slower as the hours tick away. And
right, that's what we said, that there's a lot less momentum on the gravel, and you're having to pedal more, and it's different than being on the road. On the road, it's road racing and in group rides and you're able to get sucked along. Where gravel is more like time trialing, like you're riding pretty much by yourself. Like you might have 1 or 2 people around you, but you're not getting much of a draft. You're leaving some space to make sure you can see the holes. So it's a different style of riding. So yeah, there will be advice and training specific to help you get better at gravel.
I think the training plan is key to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a lot of other things wrong. I'll just tell you.
To be strong.
Well, and the training plan will help, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. What's going to help with it's going to be just informal get-togethers like this and chats and being in the group and hey, we're talking about things over a cup of coffee or a taco or a beer or whatever else, and well, this is what I'm running into. Oh, well, yeah, I used to run into that too, and here's what I found, and then that's where Lauren's pro level contribution goes, yeah, and that's how you addressed it, but here's how you really take it next level, sort of thing.
But it's subtle stuff. Like I bet you don't drag your brakes on downhill on the road bike.
I don't ride them on my gravel bike either.
Do you?
Rich does.
Sometimes.
Okay, we'll work on it. Let it go.
Rich needs work. I'll let you know that in a good way. What other questions? I know there has to be more. We have 4 tacos left, a couple of beers. Thank y'all very much for joining us. Thank you, Clarence and Mad Duck Cyclery. Thank y'all that are listening online. When we're not talking about pushing Spinistry, we want to get everybody on bikes as possible. As many people riding bikes as possible, and we think gravel is the best place to ride bikes these days. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.